So there's 4 ironclad laws of book distribution. And many of you have heard them before, but we go over these because they're basic foundational aspects of book distribution. The 4 are that your sadhana must be strong. Is everyone paying attention? Because there will be a quiz. Really. Number 2, you must get books. Actually, could we read them together, starting with number 1? Number 1.
Your sadhana must be strong.
2.
You must get books.
3.
The more you show, the more you sell.
That's the one we say 2 more times.
The more you show, the more you sell. The more you show, the more you sell.
And number 4?
You must organize.
Okay. So, number 1, sadhana. Sadhana has to be strict, serious, and sincere. Prabhupada used those 3 words over and over again about sadhana because if we don't have the taste from reading Bhagavad Gita, from chanting, then we will not consider the effort to distribute Bhagavad Gita to be very worthwhile. And you can only give what you have. If you don't have that feeling in your heart that this is the most valuable thing, then you can't pass that on to other people. And if I lose my sadhana, I'm not practicing myself, then basically what will happen is I'll start thinking that maybe I'll sell something else or do something else. Something else will look more valuable because Shraddha, faith, really means where you place your heart. That's what the word means. Shrad means the heart and Da means to place. So everyone's placing their heart somewhere. The devotees are placing their heart at the lotus feet of Krishna. And when we go deep within our sadhana, then we have this inspiration to distribute books and to see that other people get it. Number 2 is get books. Because you can't distribute books that you don't have. And it seems pretty obvious, but actually it's really true. Once you have books in your house, once you have books in your car, once you have books in your bag, like I was leaving for the airport to fly out here and I ran out the door because, I was a little late, or the cab was a little late, and I jumped in the cab and then I realized I don't have any books. I ran back in, even though I was late, and I grabbed a handful of Upanishads. And I said, okay, now I can go. And on the way to the airport, sure enough, the cab driver, because I said a few Nrsimha prayers under my breath as I was taking off down the road, and he's like, yeah, I'm kind of into this spirituality stuff, what are you into? And it turned out, he was a student of the Quran, and he was interested in universal knowledge about Krishna consciousness and things like that. So, he took an Upanishad when I left, and then so did a few other people at the ticket counters and other places. But if I hadn't had the books with me, then, here's part of the quiz. Okay, if I didn't take any books with me, how many would have I distributed on the way here? Let's see, anybody miss this one? That's what you do, get out of here. No, just kidding. No, and if I have the books with me, then something magical will happen because Krishna's in those books. So get books, get them in your house. If you're distracted by something in your house, like maybe your refrigerator, pile them up in front of the refrigerator. When they're all gone, you can eat again. TV, put them up, and as soon as the kids distribute all the books, they can watch TV again, something like that. Get books, because you can't distribute books you don't have. The more you show, the more you sell.
The more you show, the more you sell.
2 more times.
The more you show, the more you sell. The more you show, the more you sell.
Of course, we can't emphasize this enough because what's up with the... that's funny. Because there's something magical. As soon as people see the books, then they become attracted. There are certain souls wandering the universe. Brahmanda Brahmate Kon Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prashade Bhai Bhakti Lata Bij. And they become fortunate. One time I was in Los Angeles getting ready for the Rath Yatra where we distribute large quantities of reservoirs of pleasure. And I was trying to figure out how to get them out to all the devotees in a practical way because we were going to do 3,000 or something. That's a lot of books to carry around. So I put them out in front of the temple right before Mangalartik, right after Mangalartik, and devotees were in there chanting japa, and there was nobody outside. It was very quiet and dark still. Except there was one Indian gentleman who was sitting a ways down on sitting on a planter box or something, chanting japa. And so I took my key out and I cracked open the box of Reservoir of Pleasure, and it went pop like that. And as soon as that pop sound hit the morning air, he looked over, just magically, he looked over, like, what is it? And he came over and he looks in the box and he goes, I want one of those. And I was thinking, the more you show, the more you sell. All I did was bring him out there. I didn't say anything, I didn't do anything but open the box, and he came over. So if you show them, if you have them available and you make them visible, people will take them. Organization. You have to think about this. Prabhupada asked us to tax our brain. So brainstorm with other devotees. There's so many great ideas of how to distribute books, and make some plans. Make a simple plan. And then set goals, create systems and programs, build teams, and encourage the heck out of people. That's one of the most important things. Everybody needs encouragement, so encourage the heck out of people. You can't encourage people enough, right? I can't be encouraged enough. If you want to encourage me all the time, I'll accept it, and I become enlivened by it. How to distribute a book. Use the ripe fruit principle. The principle: pick the ripe fruits, leave the unripe fruits to ripen on the tree. Can we say this one together? Here's the principle. Pick the ripe fruits, leave the unripe fruits to ripen on the tree. Let's try it one more time because it's going to be on the quiz. Pick the ripe fruits, leave the unripe fruits to ripen on the tree. Very good. Okay, how much time do we have? We end at 6, is that correct? 10 minutes. Have 10 minutes, okay. So here's how it works. Now, unripe fruits, if you look on a tree, those of you who have picked ripe fruits before, unripe fruits, or gone fruit picking, let's say, the unripe fruits are sometimes hard, they're dry, they're hard to pick, right? Now, I just happened to snap this photo when we were distributing books in the park, and this guy just happened to be an unripe fruit. Can you tell from his body language? Look at him. He was some kind of born-again Christian, and he had an axe to grind, and he was really letting this devotee have it. And you can see the devotees just sort of standing there tolerating the whole time. But he's an unripe fruit. Now here I'll show you ripe fruits. Soft, juicy, easy to pick. This guy... this is not a setup. You can't make a picture like this. This young man had walked into the Rath Yatra in New York, and he was so excited to hear about the books and to get a book. So here, unripe, ripe. Unripe, ripe. Unripe, ripe. Unripe, ripe. Unripe, ripe. Pardon me?
He even had extra space to carry.
He had even had extra space. He could take a whole set practically. Okay, so the way that works is that if you go out to talk to people, look for the people who are easy to talk to. They have the body language that is open. If they go like this when you talk to them and they keep walking, so, what is that? You say, ask me, say, excuse me.
Excuse me.
Ripe or unripe? Okay, now try it again.
Excuse me.
Yes, how can I help you? Okay. So just look for the ripe fruits and let the unripe fruits stay on the vine, because what happens to a fruit when it stays on the vine?
Ripens.
And how does it get ripened? By the sun. It gets cooked. So Krishna's cooking us all in the material world. And people finally, when they become ripe, it's like, yeah, give me the book. I'm ready now. After 9/11, people were lining up on the street of New York. I had businessmen stopping right after 9/11. They'd start crying and say, will this help me? Is this real? They wanted to know. They instantly got ripened, So simple things to say. Here's a couple things. Now, guess where I got this one? Who can say where I got this line? If you can tell me that, you win a prize. We're spending trillions to conquer outer space. This book shows you how to conquer your own inner space. Where did I get it? Trivakam Swami, no?
Easy journey.
Huh?
Easy journey.
No, I got it from Peter. Did you say Peter Borsch? Okay, he wins the prize. Here you go. Here's your smart box guide that you helped me with. I'll give you something better later, don't worry. Yeah, I just heard it this morning. I said, that's a great line for Sankirtan. You know, we're spending trillions to conquer outer space. This book shows you how to conquer your own inner space. What do you think? That's a winner. You can take that one to the bank. Just take that out, and next time you present a book and just tell them that. Or you can tell them, I say this to people, especially young people who are a little bit, you know, ornery and, you know, they don't want to be told anything. Some religions try to tell you what to do, right? This book teaches that it's you're responsible to look in and find out for yourself. People like that. The body is like the cage, the soul is like the bird. This book shows you how to feed the bird. Simple stuff, really simple, easy things that you can tell people. Now, when we go out, we're ambassadors of goodwill. So, basic rule is when we go out the door, or when we're inside, actually, let's start inside. We start in our own house, in our own apartment, wherever we are, leave everyone with a good impression. Show gratitude to the people that you live with, the devotees you associate with. You know, find ways that you can go out of your way to give gifts, to exchange prasadam, to say nice things, encouraging things, encourage the heck out of people. You know, leave people with a good impression everywhere you go. And leave no stone unturned, how to leave people with a good impression. Then when you go outside to do Sankirtan, it's the same thing. It's an attitude. It's a way of life. It's about being an ambassador of goodwill. That's what Prabhupada was, an ambassador of goodwill. So make this a goal. Leave everyone with a good impression and brainstorm. Try to figure out how to do that. And make people feel special because they are. Everyone's a spirit soul. And if you look in their eyes, you'll be amazed. Because you look and see, wow, there's a conscious living being looking back at me. How did that happen? What is it? It's amazing. Every soul is absolutely amazing. And if you look at people on that level, when you go on Sankirtan and present the books to them, you just, hi, how are you? You know, there's an instant connection when you're thinking like that. And these are basic principles for book distribution that work everywhere, at all times and places. Preaching means giving. We have so much to give. Let's go give it out as much as we can. We got books, the Maha Mantra, prasadam, invitations to all kinds of things, and kindness. This is Jive Doi Krishnanam Sarva Dharma Sar. The essence of religion is to show kindness to the jivas by giving them the knowledge by which they can go back home, back to Godhead. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. This is what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. One who's a kind friend to all living entities. That's religion. So that's what we're about. We want to go out and be a kind friend to every living entity that we meet. And that's what our Sankirtan is to take these gifts out and to be kind to people and give them these gifts. And they'll also reciprocate when they see how you're giving. And you don't want anything in return. They'll be so happy to give their whole life. Srila Prabhupada said, be assured that there is no more direct way to preach than distribute Krishna conscious books. Here's Venkatesh. He joined our temple about 1 year ago, and he's a graduate student at Stanford. We're working on his PhD in physics, which is really hard to get into in Stanford. Very bright young man. And he walked to our temple and immediately took to the process. And then he immediately took to book distribution. He's the most focused book distributor I've ever seen. And every time I turn around, he's talking to someone, preaching to someone with such sincerity. He always stays out later than everybody else. And he also, I put him in charge of the Smartbox program. So he's our Smartbox director. And he's making so much advancement by being absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And this is one of our tables. This is outside of Walmart. We get permission from Walmart that most Walmarts will give you permission to set up outside their store. It's in their corporate bylaws. Even in Houston now, they're matching funds with the devotees as they collect outside. Yeah. I'm not lying. Whoever gets a book is benefited. I met this gentleman. I shamelessly put my own picture in here because I had to show this man. This is a Farsi book. I found out from Srila Prabhu, who ended up as the BBT trustee for that part of the world, that he, actually what happened was, he told me, I'm thinking about printing in Farsi. I said, Farsi, great, let's print Farsi books. I love Farsi people. You know, Farsi people, and I was really, I was all excited. It was in Vrindavan a couple of years ago. And then I forgot all about it. And about a year later, he calls me up and said, okay, we have 20,000 Farsi books. And I'm like, I didn't say print 20,000. I was just saying it was a good idea. But anyway, he got on my case and said, you better take some and you better, So we ordered Farsi books. And sure enough, the more you show, the more you sell. This man was so excited. He's from Afghanistan. He saw that Farsi book and he flipped out. He was my best friend when he saw a Farsi book. He wanted to come back the next day and see all our other Farsi books too. And I said, we got one Farsi book, my friend. If he reads the book, he has benefited still more. This young lady came up to our table. We have a table with racks on them where we show the books in front of stores where we get permission. She came up like this and just was staring at the books for about 2-3 minutes. And one of the devotees came over and helped her to make a choice. She happened to choose Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Instruction. For those of you who've been to Vrindavan, it's the most sacred place on the planet. Written by, an eternal associate of Lord Krishna who's come to this earth to impart knowledge about how to go back to Godhead and how to do bhakti yoga and about Radha Kund. Okay, all the way to the highest conception of love of God. She bought that book, and I swear, she stayed there for 3 hours in the same position, right here, leaning on somebody's van. And the whole time we were there, she didn't move. That's why I took out the camera. I said, this is one for the record books. She read most of the Nectar of Instruction. You can see it right here. You can't make this stuff up. It happens on Sankirtan. The magic happens when you go out and try to make this happen. That's why there's never a dull moment on Sankirtan. The souls are amazing that you meet, and it's just wonderful. Or if one gives the book, Prabhupada said, to someone else for reading, both he and the other person has benefited. I was distributing books in the Los Angeles airport, and I met this monk. And I love this picture. You know why? Look at this. United. And here he is, Bhagavad Gita. And I just think Prabhupada's books, they unite everybody. Everyone who gets a book, they become united. And just, I don't know, I get chills when I look at this picture and just think how wonderful it is that, who knows where that book is now? I met him for 2 minutes and asked him if I could take a picture afterwards. And now somewhere, Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita is sitting on a nightstand in the top of a mountain in Tibet or something. You know? Even if one does not read the book, but simply holds it and sees it, he has benefited. We have a table downtown Santa Cruz. It's legal on the streets. Set up a display. We're there every weekend. And there's one story, I don't have his picture here, but a homeless man bought a full set of Srimad Bhagavatams. After visiting our table week after week, taking the prasadam that we pass out from the table, perusing the books, finally he said, I got to have this. He said, I'm dying of hepatitis. He said, I don't have a home, but I have a locker. And he said, don't give me the books yet. I want to prove my good faith. And he brought $37 first time. Second time he came back, he brought another $40. Started giving him installments of the small Bhagavatam. He's got them all now, and he wants the Chaitanya Charitamrita. He carries them around in a Safeway bag and reads them sitting in the park. He's dedicating his life. He's got neck beads now too, by the way. So if you go to Santa Cruz, if he simply gives a small donation toward the work of Krishna consciousness, he has benefited. So this is Madhukanta, the very saintly devotee who was with us in San Jose for a long time. And there are a couple other young ladies with this mother and daughter here. And after he got the donation, he taught them the Maha Mantra. This is one thing that we do. After people buy the book, we say, do you believe in the power of prayer? And 9 out of 10 people say yes. And we say, well, let me teach you this beautiful prayer. It's in Sanskrit. It's a prayer to God, how to wake up love for God in your heart. And then we say, repeat after me. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. We do that. We give them a card with the mantra and tell them to follow along. And afterwards, everything changes. So afterward, these young women, they learned the mantra and they said, what does it mean? And I was listening to Madhu, a very saintly devotee. And so I was listening in, what's he going to tell them? So they said, what does it mean? And he goes, it means, I need help. And the next day I was chanting my japa and I was thinking, I need help, Hare Krishna. Prabhupada continues, so let us cooperatively work together. This is an example of cooperation. This is Rakshit Jariwala's garage. He happened to have a big garage, and so he volunteered to put our books in his garage while we were moving from our storefront temple, which is now changed into a cigarette exchange. They needed to get us out really quick, so very important. Now we moved to a little larger place, and Rakshit put the books temporarily in his garage, but then when we came to move them out, he said, we'd like to keep them. So he became fully involved as our fulfillment director, keeping the books in his garage. And he lives in a suburban area. On weekends, when all the devotees come up, we call it Sankirtan Central, you see cars parked up and down his street with the trunks open and people carrying boxes out. It looks like somebody's doing some deals out of his garage, you know. If they only knew Rakshit Jariwala, he's a PhD upright scientist and everything. To vigorously spread Krishna consciousness to suffering humanity at large. And this is in our little temple at ISKCON Silicon Valley. And this is during the morning of one of our monthly Sankirtan festivals. All the devotees work together to stamp the books, to pack the prasadam. And when everyone's working on that, everyone's happy. Whatever I had to say, I have already said in my books. Now you must all try to understand it and continue with your endeavors. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Quiz. I said. I warned you guys. Okay, number 1. List the 4 ironclad laws of book distribution. Okay, number 1. Strong sadhana. Anybody disagree? Get out of here. No. Okay, number 2. Get books. Why? You can't sell books, you can? Okay, number 3.
The more you show, the more you sell.
And is this the one we repeat 2 more times?
The more you show,
The more you sell. The more you show, the more you sell. And number 4. Get organized. Okay, very good. A+. What is the ripe fruit principle? Pick the right fruits and the unripe fruits? No, wait, let me see. I'll make it true, false. True or false? The unripe fruits, you grab on as hard as you can, pull it until you can't pull anymore, hopefully to break the branch off. True or false? False, okay. Okay, number 3, name one new thing that you learned today that you will take with you. Smart boxes. Anybody else have anything else you're taking with you?
Be kind.
That's good enough. Be kind, okay? Any more? The more you show, the more you sell. What else? What is it? Preaching means to give. Anything else?
Buy books.
Buy books.
Faith is where you place your heart.
Faith is where you place your heart. Nice. What else?
Amazing. Amazing every soul is out there.
Every soul is amazing. Yes.
Given everything, they'll carry on cooperatively.
Given everything, they'll carry on cooperatively. Nice. Okay. So, yes.
The value of a moment's association with a dedicated book distributor.
Jai. That's your blessings on me. Hare Krishna. So, you can go to distributebooks.com. We have some information there. For those of you who have visited before and it looks the same, it is. We haven't increased it very much, but there is still some good information there, and we will be soon making progress and making some major upgrades. Also, Friends of the BBT is a new website that you can visit. It has lots of information about book distribution, new projects, ways you can help, get in touch. And I have the Smart Box Guide here, which has in it step by step how you can get your own smart box, how you can install it, how you can involve others. And then it has an appendices that has the actual model numbers of the boxes and everything else. Yes?
Do you give hints of what to tell, ask people to?
Yes. Talking points, everything's in here. In fact, if we forgot anything, let us know, because we'll upgrade this also as we go. So we're really looking for comments. You can get in touch with me. My card's inside here, and also at the website. You can give us feedback. And I have about 30 of these, and that are in a cover, and 10 more like this. So let's just pass these out. if you don't mind. How many do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
More than 30.
More than 30? Really? All right.
Fight over.
I have extras here. You just don't get the fancy cover, that's all. Here, could you take these? Because I don't want to pass out the ones without the fancy cover and be blamed for it.
I have a suggestion as far as when you price the books. I found it works better to have a whole number, not just like $1.95, but $2. It makes it easier.
Okay.
People don't think, they have to look for change or something.
I want to thank you very much for coming. And we're just going to have a 2 or 3 minute bhajan. Was there enough for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you start out with a couple of dollars first so people can see?
Yes. This is also in the manual. We've tried to think of everything in the manual, but we do put a few dollars in the box to start off with. Because when they see it, then they know immediately what they're supposed to do. And a lot of those details are in the manual. I didn't cover a lot of them because they're in there. And there are a lot more details there. And if you think of things, please let us know. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marmon Nacharayar Marmon Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marman Nacharayar Marman Nacharayar Marman Nacharayar Marman, Nacharayar Marman, now, Nacharayar Marman, Nacharayar Marman, Nacharayar Marman, Nacharayar Marman, Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole, Nacharayar Marman, Doyal Tonahe, Doyal Tonahe, Eman Doyal Tonahe Mar Ke Premade, Eman Doyal Tonahe Mar Ke Premade, Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marman. Gotta get this part down. Get this next part. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marman. Watch. Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Now. Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Need more hands clapping. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marman. Ore aparad dure jabe pabe prema dhan. Ore aparad dure jabe pabe prema dhan. Vicharto nahe, vicharto nahe, o name apara vicharto nahe, o name apara vicharto nahe, Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marman. Doyal Nitai Chaitanya Bole Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Nacharayar Marman. Nachare our marman, nachare our marman, bolo, nachare our marman, nachare our marman, nachare our marman, nachare our marman.